ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। Now, all of us can raise our hands and say it loudly together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभ्यदिव्यच्छविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। Hare Krishna. So, I welcome all of you in this week's session. Today is an extremely auspicious day. Today is the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. So, before, it is very, very important on these days when such a powerful spiritual personalities appear to understand these personalities so that by their mercy we will acquire lot of spiritual strength in our own journey. But before we get there, I wanted to, as I was reading through the Bhagavad Gita, the next verse that we are going to cover, I thought there was one prerequisite I wanted to cover. So let me open these prayers, and if you can keep a pen and paper handy because there is something like, okay, you may want to make a note of this as we go through this. And as our sessions progress, we might evaluate these points in our life on where we are. So with that, let me bring this up. So this is a song by our Acharya, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And let me go ahead and share this. And as we listen to this song, I want you to understand this song very nicely. We touched upon this song in our previous session partially, but Today, we'll go a little bit deeper and we will know that the significance of this song has a desire in our heart, in each and every one of our heart. So when we touch upon this, we will know that okay, what is it talking about? So this is from a very selected, very wonderful book called Sharanagati, and this is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the song goes like this. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jibe Daya Kori Swaparshad Sriyo Dhamo Shaho Avatari অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ প্রেমা করিবারে দান শিখায়ে শরণাগতি ভগতের প্রাণ দৈন্য আত্মনিবেদন গোপ্তৃত্বে বরণ অবশ্যই রক্ষিবে কৃষ্ণা বিশ্বাস পালন ভক্তি অনুকূল মাত্র কার্যের শিকার ভক্তি প্রতিকূল ভাব বর্জন অঙ্গীকার ষড়ঙ্গ শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার রূপ সনাতন পদে দাতে তৃণা করি ভকতি বিনোদ পড়ে দুপাদ ধরি কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো অধম শিখায়ে শরণাগতি করো হে উত্তম. A very beautiful prayer. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, it says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Jive Daya Kori, means out of causeless mercy, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he does, Swaparshada Shriya Dhama Shaho Avatari. That means when he comes to this world, he brings his own parshads, he brings his own associates, and he also brings his own dham. Krishna, when he comes in all his forms, right, he does not come alone. Like when Krishna comes, when Sri Ram came, Sri Ram brought his his complete troop came together. Let's say if the president of the country goes anywhere, right? Will the president go alone there? Okay, landed landed in Mexico alone. I am the president. By the way, here is my visiting card. No, he will, like if the president of United States is going, like they will go in their Air Force One. They will have the complete troop and they will have their all arrangements there. Similarly, like, okay, it could be the president of any country. Basically, they will go with their own troop. So when Supreme Lord comes, the Supreme Lord also travels with his own troop. He comes with his own dham, means the place where he resides. That is his own place. That eternal place, like, okay, where he is residing. So Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in Sri Navadvip Dham, so that is an eternal Dham. Then Krishna in his form came in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So this Dham, although it exists in material world, but it is not part of the material world. So it is a spiritual world. It is an exact replica of the spiritual world. And then it is said, why is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming? अत्यंत दुर्लभ प्रेम कोरिबारे दान শিখায়ে শরণাগতি ভকতের প্রাণ অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ, the extreme rare thing he came to give. And what is that? That is love for God. And when one develops this love for God, that person is able to genuinely love every other person. And what is that genuine love? Genuine love means, that means unconditional love. It is not that, okay, if you give me this, then I will love you. Generally we are like this in the conditional world, right? In the material world we are like this. Till you give me this, I love you. Okay. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. Okay. So, but what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give is, he came to give the most atyanta durlabh prem, the most extreme rare love he came to give. And what he's doing, he's koribare dan. He's distributing, he's distributing. There is no price that we have to give. Okay, he's just donating that. So it is up to us to take that. And how is he doing that? Krishna, at the very end of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Surrender unto me. Come and surrender unto you. Come and surrender to me. Give up all other business. And then what I will do? I will relieve you from all your sinful reactions. Why are we suffering, my dear friends, in this world? We are suffering in this world because of our past background. See, we will have, you might all notice something, that in our lives, no matter who we are, we will have some domains where we are enjoying, where we are having good side, but we will have some other domains in our life where we are suffering also. Okay. And everyone has a combination of good and bad. Like there is a enjoying thing and there is a suffering. And we all have this balance. Some may have more enjoyment and less suffering. Some may have more suffering and less enjoyment at any point of time. But yes, both will be there and the equations will keep changing. It is not that, okay, one will have a very steady life with absolutely, okay, one thing that they suffered from the childhood to the very end, that was the only suffering and it was very minimal. No, it'll keep changing. So that is why Shikhaye Sharanagati Bhakotero Pran. Whatever Krishna said at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, that, okay, surrender unto me, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach Sharanagati. And this Sharanagati is the pran, is the life of a devotee. So Bhagavad Gita is talking about Krishna's instructions. Slowly, like when we transition from Bhagavad Gita to Srimad Bhagavatam, it will talk about the case studies of devotees, different case studies of devotees, of how devotees handle different situations in their life. See, if someone is having a very nice time, like, okay, very fantastic time, like, okay, watching movie and this and that, and like, okay, uh, and everything is happy-go-lucky situation. In that situation, it will be practically very difficult to remember Krishna with that kind of a mood unless one is very sincere. But it is also said that if one at the good times, if one is sincere and if one takes to Krishna very sincerely, then in the difficult times they will be steady. And there is a phrase for that. It is said that if we sweat in peace, then we don't bleed in war. So when the peaceful times are there, at that time, if we are sweating, let's take the example of, like, those people who are doing those military trainings. So when they do the military trainings, right, it's like, okay, they're doing training every day. It's not that war is happening daily. War may happen once in their entire lifetime, or it may be just a couple of times in their entire lifetime, or once in a decade. But they are practicing every time. It's not that, okay, it's practice time. Oh, there'll be no enemies. Like, okay, let's keep the gun here and let's take a relax. It's not like that. Okay, there will be attack at any point of time. So similarly, we are also, it is said, material world is such that padam padam yatve padam natesham. That is, there is danger at every step. There is danger at each and every step. I want to tell you one instance. So once it so happened, um, this was few years back. I was just dropping my son in a daycare, and I was just returning back from there. Now this was a in Michigan. Okay, it was a regular day. I would drop him to that. It was not daycare. It was a preschool. Sorry. So I would drop him daily in the morning, and like, okay, I will come back. But that particular day, when I was just dropping, it was just like as I was driving, and I could see one car from the other side. Okay, and I was just driving straight, and here is one car that comes in from the other side. Okay, they're just trying to take a turn, and they have to get into the middle lane actually to take a turn. And I was just one lane away from the middle lane. And as this car took the turn, this was a big vehicle, truck actually. Okay. Somehow, like, okay, this person could not estimate like okay, how much distance it would be. And this car came and just banged at my driver door. Okay. And as this happened, I could feel okay. I mean, I could see the car coming, but I could never think that okay, they would come and bang me like this. It was just a moment I felt it was so near death that that day I felt like, okay, this is Bhagavad Gita in action, where, where practically anything can happen at any point of time. And just few days back, I was telling Amit Prabhu, I was driving on I-75 here on the highway, and there was some traffic building. So as the traffic was building in the morning, so I went ahead and stopped, and I could see the lady behind me who was driving. She was quite far off, but she was on the phone. She did not realize that there is a traffic building. Okay, and she kept driving like that. And when she was very close to me, she was right behind me. When she kept close to me, I saw that she noticed that okay, there's a traffic building, and that time she lost control of the vehicle. She was like just like this, okay, and I was like Krishna, and the vehicle came and just stopped, just probably few centimeters distant from me. And as it happened, then I was in my heart, I was realizing that Krishna, see, right now this lady saved me. I called for you, and like, okay, I could understand that you saved me. There is no doubt about it. Uh, I could have not survived this. Whether I would have died or not, that's a different thing altogether. But this bang was supposed to happen, and you saved me. But this is only one thing where I realized there are so many times that every moment you are saving us from so many difficulties, I may not be even noticing also. I may not be realizing that also. So that is the thing. So, in other words, Mahaprabhu is teaching us this principle of Sharanagati. And what exactly is this principle of Sharanagati? That Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, and that is why I asked you to get all of you to get pen and paper. There are six principles, and I will read these six principles, but first I will tell is what is the benefit of one who understands the six principles and who follows that. The six principles are Dainya Atma Nivedana Guptritrevara अवश्य रक्षिबे कृष्ण विश्वास पालान भक्ति अनुकूल मात्र कार्य रोशिकार भक्ति प्रतिकूल भाव वर्जन अंगीकार. These are the six principles. But let me first tell what is the advantage of this. ষড়ঙ্গ শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার. These six anga of Sharanagati, these six principles of Sharanagati, one who adopts this in their life, what is the result of that? Tahar prarthana shune Srinanda Kumar. That person's prarthana, prayers are heard by Srinanda Kumar. That means Sri Krishna hears their prayers. How many of us really want our prayers to be heard? Hari bol. So, if that's the thing, then in that case, let us see what these are. Dainya. Dainya is Dainya Atma Nivedana Goptritevara. Dainya is humility. To be genuinely humble towards the Lord, towards every living being, to consider us. The principle given is to consider ourselves lower than the blade of grass. What happens to a blade of grass? Generally, in the material world, the principle is opposite. Everyone wants to, in spiritual world, the principle is being das anudas, being the servant of the servant. But in the material world, the principle is completely opposite, being boss anu boss. Who is the boss? So whether it's home, it's work, and it is always this principle, boss anu boss. To be very honest, like I was recently, I had this experience at my work. There was a person, like, okay, who would always be bossing over everyone. But now, see, the material nature is very strong. So as soon as, like, okay, we try to boss over someone, there is, as a reaction, someone else becomes our boss also. We are also bossed upon. So and then, like, okay, so sometimes, like, okay, such a situation comes up, and I could see that, okay, this person was going through a difficult time because, like, okay, at till some point of time I saw this person bossing over others, and then, like, okay, when that person is bossed over by someone else, like, okay, it is our false ego that really gets hit very badly if someone is really trying to rub over our false ego. So humility keeps us very peaceful actually. Sometimes we may have to accept our mistakes. Sometimes there is no harm in saying sorry actually. We don't become small by saying sorry. And if we do this in our heart that Krishna, I want to please you, that is why I want to become humble, then we please Krishna in that way. Atmanivedan, that means, like, okay, giving ourselves, offering ourselves. In the two sessions before, I told about Matpara Bhakta. I gave the example of Ambrish Maharaj. So Ambrish Maharaj is a personification of Atmanivedan. And what is Matpara Bhakta? Matpara Bhakta means one who is using all his senses to serve Krishna. Okay, when we look at our deities, when we look at the darshan of the Lord, that is, we are using our eyes to look at the Lord. When we hear about the Lord, we are using our ears to hear about the Lord. When we use our mouth to glorify the Lord, whatever we are hearing in these classes, to whatever extent we have understood, we can share with others. That way, we are using our tongue to share about the Lord. Then, basically, if we are eating something, then if we have offered that bhoga to the Lord and we are tasting the prasad, then bhoga means, like, okay, we are giving it to Lord for His enjoyment, and when we are accepting prasad, it becomes Lord's mercy. When we are using our hands to do some service for the Lord, like, okay, let's say cooking, or if we are doing our working on the laptop, we are doing our work, and we think that, okay, Lord, see, like, oh Krishna, you have given me this job, I am trying to do this, and I want to serve the family that you have given me uh, with the Lakshmi that I get, and I will bring flowers for you, Krishna. I will bring the vegetables for you. I'll bring fruits for you. I'll bring some dry fruits for you to offer you, oh my Lord. So please accept that with Lord. So what happens is our work for the office becomes devotional activity. If we are driving to the temple, then we can say that, okay, oh Jagannath, I'm coming to see you. Oh Radha Kunjaviri, I'm coming to see you. So then our drive becomes, if we are going to our office, we can pray that Krishna, this is a job that you have given me. I don't work for my supervisor. I am working for you, Krishna. So please, Krishna, please allow me to work in a way that I can please you. Please allow me to study in a way, Amit Prabhu. that I can please you, Krishna. So what happens is, no matter whatever we're doing, we just try to organize it in such a way that we are offering it to Krishna. And Goptritra Varan, this is a very important principle. That means understanding that Krishna is my only maintainer. Who is my only maintainer? Krishna. So I want to give a prerequisite for here this one. There is one, so we have to understand that in the context of, we know there are many Devi Devtas, right? And we have to understand what their position is and what is Krishna's position. So I want to ask one question. Does anyone remember what is the meaning of Ishwar? What is the meaning of Ishwar? Anyone wants to say? Try. No one. This is important to know. The meaning of, yes, Sakshi Mataji. Yes, you want to try?
I can try. I think I've heard this some other place, but I wasn't present for the class that you discussed this topic because I probably started after that. Uh, Somebody who's beyond the rules of karma, and there was some other definitions also, I forget, but something to that effect. Or
Okay.
are you asking for literal meaning?
Literal, simple meaning.
Literal is somebody who is very dear to you.
Like a leader.
Like a leader.
Yeah, a leader.
Okay, fine. Then, okay, let me just explain. So,
Yeah.
what our scripture says that Ishwar means one who is a controller. Ishwar
Control.
means controller. Okay, now just give me one moment. So, Ishwar means controller. And if we see many people at home, generally there is one person who is a controller. Boss kaun hai? So there is one controller, but and in a company there might be a CEO. Okay, so they are also mini Ishwar. Okay, as Robert was saying, leader. So, but a leader may always not be a controller. Okay, so Ishwar means controller, and this company's CEO or a person at home, the head of the family, could be a controller. But these are mini Ishwar. But in terms of, if we see, like, who are the controllers in terms of the Devtas? They are the sun god. The light department is controlled by them. Vayu Dev, the wind department is controlled by them. Varun Dev, the water department is controlled by them. Okay, so these they are all Ishwar. Similarly, there are so many Devtas who control many things. And above them, who is the head of them? Above them is Maha Ishwar, that is Maheshwar. And who is Mahesh? Mahesh is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is the head of all the Devtas. So make a note of this. Like, okay, these are Devtas, and then above that is Maheshwar, that is Lord Shiva. And above Lord Shiva is Parameshwar. Parameshwar is Lord Narayan. Okay. And above that is Parat Parameshwar, that is Krishna. So we see that there is, so similarly, like, okay, we have, as you can see, there are Devta, then there is Lord Shiva, then there is Narayan, and then Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita explains that one who is intelligent takes shelter of Krishna only. they completely take shelter of Krishna. And that is why this Goptritre Varan is very, very important, where Krishna is the only maintainer. That means there is um, one pointed one pointed shelter in Krishna, that Krishna, you are my only maintainer. Then Krishna also reciprocates like that. And how does, in difficulties, what is the mood? Avashay Rakshibe Krishna Vishwas Balan. That means definitely Krishna will protect, to have that firm faith. I have taken shelter of Krishna, Krishna will definitely protect me. So that is the thing. Now, someone may ask, like, okay, Arey, what is wrong in taking shelter of demigods, right? Like Devta, like, okay, this is also fine, that is also fine, right? This, what is wrong with Mother Durga? What is wrong with some other Ganesh ji, right? So it is said that all these other devtas who are there, right, they have a lifespan, and they they are there in the temporary roles actually. And what the benefits that they provide, right? Because when we go to, let's say, Lord Ganesh, right, the kind of benediction that we have is Sukha Sampatti Ghar Aave. Right? That means, like, okay, we get some wealth, okay, then we get like good intelligence, we get like, okay, good health, physic, right? And we get like, okay, whatever you can think of. But these are all considered temporary, because with the end of this body, will any of those things be carried over to our next body? None of them will be carried over to our next body. So it is called Antavatta. They all have an end. They are all temporary and they all have an end. But what Krishna is giving is eternal. Anything that is done in bhakti, Neha Vikrama Nashosti, all of this, anything that we do in bhakti, that will be eternal, and that will never be lost. So that is why Goptritra Varan and Avashya Lakshmi Krishna Vishwas Palan. The next principle is Bhakti Anukulam. Bhakti Anukula Matra Karjera Shikar. Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjan Angikar. Accepting that which is favorable for bhakti and rejecting that which is unfavorable for bhakti. Very, very important principle. Even if we don't get the previous four, right? These are the two top things that are required for our progress in bhakti. This is the starting point. What are the favorable things? There is the ABCD rule. First is A, that is having the right sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, lava matra sadhu sange sarva siddhi hoy. So, if we get the association of the bona fide sadhus, then by their association, we get everything. And what is a bona fide sadhu? A bona fide sadhu is one who is coming in the line of parampara, from the disciplic succession from Krishna. And this sadhu, like, okay, sadhu will only speak what is there in the Shastras. Okay. And a sadhu will have firm nishtha. They will they will have all they are always immersed in Nam Gane Sadharuchi. They'll be always immersed in Nam and on glorifying the Supreme Lord actually. And what they will give us is also permanent in nature. Basically, a sadhu is not to be approached like, okay, अरे मेरा green card नहीं हो रहा है. My green card is not happening, or or like, okay, that I don't have a good job right now. Okay, yeah, that is fine. Like, okay, we can we can see, but that may not be the ultimate thing. Like, okay, a sadhu can tell us, like, okay, how we can cross over this material world. Okay, so that, like, okay, we make a permanent solution to our problems of not just this life, but all of all our lifetimes. So that is that is sadhu sangha, association. Second one is books, reading Srila Prabhupada books. C. C is for chanting the holy name. This holy name is Mahamantra, and this Mahamantra is the medicine for this age. In There are four yugas, as we know: Satyug, then Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. These four yugas have four different yuga dharmas. Satyug had a yuga dharma. Does anyone remember what was Satyug's yuga dharma? परम प्रभु और अमित प्रभु. म्यूट में नहीं चलेगा. Okay, so let's make a note of that. Satya Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is meditation. There, people could meditate for long time. Okay, and Hiranyakashipu meditated for 60,000 years. But that time, in that age, the lifespan was also 100,000 years. Okay, then came Treta Yuga. In Treta Yuga, the lifespan was 10,000 years. In that age, in Treta Yuga, the Yuga Dharma was fire sacrifice. In Dwapar Yuga, the Yuga Dharma was detailed deity worship. And now we are in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, neither can we do detailed deity worship, neither can we do meditation because our mind is always disturbed. Like, okay, in look here, and mind has forgotten what I was thinking there. And we are completely distracted. we may be we may be trying to focus on something, but our mind has already taken us elsewhere. And then there is there is there is the fire sacrifice. So there is no pujaris also available of that cadre actually, who can do the fire sacrifices. Neither the pujari nor the samagri, they are not available of that quality. Because if you see in the last yuga, in Dwapar Yuga, when they used to do Ashwamedh Yuga, many people would think that okay, you put horse sacrifice means you kill the horse. Nowadays they do that goat sacrifice. They'll put the goat in the sacrifice, but that was not how it was done actually. When they put the old horse inside, the a new horse will come out from there. With mantra itself, they could start the fire. But nowadays, where are those pujaris? Once I saw one pujari told me, with mantra I can start the fire. Then he said, okay, I want to see, please start the fire. Then they said, like, okay, yeah, so take this, Rui, this, that, okay, it will start. I will tell the mantra. I told, when will you tell? Okay, start the mantra. He said, no, I'll tell you on that day. Then when that day came, I caught that pujari. Can you please tell the mantra? No, that will not happen with you. Aye, what is wrong with me? I want
Can I
to
ask a
see.
question? Can I ask a question,
Yeah,
Ananta?
we'll come to that, Robert. Give me just few minutes. We'll wrap it up and then you can ask. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. So it yeah, okay. Anyway, Robert, you can ask. Like that's fine. You want to ask?
Yes, yes. Okay. So what happens after the Kali Yuga? Like we have the four yugas, right?
Hmm.
What happens when Narayana comes down in the form of Kalki, and what happens after this? Because I know what you're saying is true, because I've practiced all three before this. Like I've done, I know the experience, so I'm just curious. Like
So after
I'm
at the end of Kali Yuga, we again go into Satyug. There is a complete annihilation, destruction of this creation, and then again the Satyug starts. Okay, but before that, the Kali Yuga goes into a very, very dangerous times actually. We are now only at the very tip of the beginning of the Kali Yuga, and we are seeing how the world is degrading. But there is lot left in Kali Yuga, and it is said that okay, people will have so less lifespan. The lifespan will reduce to like 20 years, which is now 100. There'll be there'll be so much rampant violence. Like okay, people, the Srimad Bhagavatam goes into details saying that okay, there'll be drought and famine, and there'll be no food left over, and people who are surviving on animals, there will be no animals left. So at the end of it, man will become a cannibal. They will try to eat other man actually. It will become so degraded.
I
But
know, but
we'll come to that, Robert. Let me just complete this part.
okay, okay.
So then there is we talked about bhakti anukul matra karja shikar, and there we said about three things. Um, First is the association, books, chanting, and we were talking about the importance of chanting. So this in this Kali Yuga, the chanting of the holy name is so important, where it is the medicine of this age. Anyone who is chanting, right, no matter whatever situation there it is, because we'll see there is one common phenomenon. Whatever we do, we may not be able to derive satisfaction out of that. But this chanting, if we are able to continue doing chanting, what will happen is we will be able to derive satisfaction, and I will explain that in the future how that happens, how that really works. And so that is C, and then finally is diet. Diet is if we are having something that is offered to Krishna. It could be like okay, we may be having difficulty like okay, having going through the process, but we can start like okay, in our mind we can say whenever we eat anything that Krishna, please accept this, and please allow me to have your remnants, that way I get purified. And we can start with that, and slowly we can go into an organized way of how we can offer. Then comes the thing that okay, bhakti pratikul bhav varjan angikar, which means that okay, whatever is pratikul to bhakti, whatever is negative for bhakti, we don't do those things. And what are those? These are the four pillars of dharma. If we do this, then the pillars of dharma gets broken, and it takes us towards hellish planets. So they are no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. These are considered very dangerous, and we should stay away from these. And even if we are struggling with this, like, okay, then in that case, we should seek guidance, and we should somehow try to come out of this. So if we follow this, then what happens? Like, okay, if we are able to remember these six principles by applying this in our life, and it does not happen overnight. We have to try this, and we have to keep praying, and when we chant we should keep praying, and through that, by Krishna's mercy, by a pure devotee's mercy, we are slowly able to progress in that direction. So having said that, I know we are almost close to like an hour.
What is the
Is
sixth one? It's like
Sorry.
I mean, I'm just what is the sixth principle to me?
So first one is humility, dainya. Second is Atma Nivedan. Atma Nivedan is the principle by which like, okay, we are offering ourselves to the Lord. Third is Goptritya Varan. That means considering Krishna is our only maintainer. And fourth is Avashya Rakshibe Krishna Vishwas Palan. That means considering Krishna, you are you will definitely protect me. Having that firm faith that Krishna will definitely protect me. Fifth is Bhakti Anukul Matra Karjara Svikar. That means doing those activities which are favorable for bhakti. And sixth is Bhakti Pratikul Bhav Varjan Angikar. That means not doing those things which are unfavorable for bhakti. So by doing this, we please Lord Krishna. So now, this, whatever I covered, this will be helpful for us not just in understanding our next verse, but this will really help us, like, okay, so that we can have a deeper connection with Krishna. To the extent we try to apply this, and as time goes, we'll have better understanding of this. This will evolve. Like as we try to apply this, we will get realizations, okay, where we are struggling, and then if we are able to take guidance, then in that case, slowly, slowly, we will be able to focus on that. So. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is further saying that Rupa Sanatana Pade Date Trina Kori Bhakati Vinoda Pade Duhu Pada Dhori. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami are the Goswamis. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur falls down at their feet and says that, okay, I, with humble, having the Date Trina Kori means having the Durba grass on my between my two teeth. It is a sign of humility. I fall at your feet. I need your mercy. And then what we play to Lord? Kandiya, Kandiya, bole ami to adamo. By constantly crying, saying that, okay, I am so fallen. I Please teach me this Sharanagati. Shikhaye Sharanagati. Karo he uttamo. I am so fallen. Please make me Uttam. Please, Uttam means tamogun. And Ut means like, okay, beyond tamogun. Okay, uplift me from that tamogun. Okay, and teach me this Sharanagati. So so with that mood, like, okay, regularly we should chant our rounds that, okay, that I really want to apply this in my life. And with that being said, let me stop here, and then let me share something on this glorious day that we are in today. As I told in the very beginning, today is a very, very important day. Today is the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Guru Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada. So he was born on this particular day, and there was a situation actually, like I want to share, like maybe about, I'll take 15-20 minutes for this. But just by hearing about a pure devotee, our heart, by trying to attentively hear about a pure devotee, we are very much pleasing to the Lord. And I just want to give an example of this. Once it so happened that in Sri Rangam, where Srila Ramanujacharya is there, in 1000 years back, at that time in Sri Rangam, daily there will be a procession that will happen. And in that procession, okay, Lord Varadraj will be taken outside the temple, and everyone will be chanting Lord Varadraj Day when taking out. And in 1000 years back, the devotees were much having a lot of purity. So many times, like Lord will speak to them as well, and Lord will definitely have his exchange with Srila Ramanujacharya. So one day when they took him out, at every day evening they will take him out. Even in today's day also, that I think that culture is still there. So one day when they took him out, right, at that time Lord said, like, okay, can you please uh, tell Ramanujacharya to go away from here? Now everyone knows that Ramanujacharya is so dear to Lord. Why is Lord saying that? Okay, can you tell Ramanujacharya to go away from here? So our Nandini Priya Mataji might know this incident, right? So as the Lord said this, so um, everyone looked at Ramanujacharya. He's so senior. How to tell him? Like, okay, he's the most topmost devotee over here, and Lord is willing to take him out from here. So Ramanujacharya said that, okay, okay, I'll go away from here. He was humble. He left from there immediately. So after they were gone, everyone was stunned. Like, okay, why did Lord say like this? So then Lord said, okay, Lord Varadaraj spoke that, okay, every day you do my glorification, enough of it. Now I want you to chant Ramanujacharya's name and glorify him. Come. They're like, okay, Ramanujacharya's glorification started. So, which means that how much the Lord enjoys hearing about his devotees, hearing about his pure devotees. So, this this goes back to when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, so I purposefully selected the song just right before this. It was a song by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in the late 1800s actually. So at that time, like, okay, he saw that Mahaprabhu came and he gave his teachings, but slowly, like, okay, you know how it happens over a period of time, things got so degraded, like people started following various things, and people would say that this is only Mahaprabhu's teachings, and there were many sahajiyas came in. Sahajiyas means they would do things very cheaply. Many people started telling that okay, Krishna is like okay, that principle in, like, they will not be able to describe this is absolute, but then they will not be able to talk about the personal form of God. It will be like okay, Krishna is Brahman, impersonal perspective. So this impersonalism had spread, and plus like okay, there was lot of lot of things in the Vaishnava philosophies, like, okay, which were explained by Mahaprabhu, which were taken very cheaply. People would dress in gopi dresses, they will dance that, okay, we are also like gopis, okay, something like that. So there were a lot of upper sampradayas that, and at that time, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is an acharya, he prayed that, oh dear Lord, please send me a ray of Vishnu who can actually eliminate all this nonsense that is going on in this world. And so at that time, when when um, when his son was born, he was named as Bimala Prasad. So it so happened that around that time, like when this boy was only an infant, at that time, in that year itself, there was this Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra. At that time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in Jagannath Puri. So that as that Rath was going, right, it came and it stopped near Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. And when it would not move from there. It was stuck there for 3 days. So when that happened, like, okay, his wife was told that okay, this Rath is stopped here. It is right here. Why don't you come here? So she came out with Bimala Prasad, and as soon as she came and brought Bimala Prasad, like, okay, towards Lord Jagannath, Jagannath's garland fell on him, and so that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur like took, when he heard this, he understood that this is that ray of Vishnu that Lord has sent me. And in fact, like, okay, Bimala Prasad, when he was born, at that time, the umbilical cord that is there, that was tied in his body as if it was like that janoi, the sacred thread. So he was born like that. So, and
Mm.
from the very beginning itself, like, okay, there were like, okay, very wonderful signs that he started showing.
Sweet toys for you, but whatever.
I'll just mute everyone. So, this young Bimala Prasad, like, okay, he at the age of 4 itself, like, okay, there was once it so happened that there was a mango that was that he ate, and when he ate the mango, at that time, like his father told him that okay, that you ate this mango, but this was not offered to Krishna. So as soon as he heard that, he he took a vow that just he was like 4 years old. He took a vow that okay, I am such an offender that I ate mango without offering. I will never eat mangoes. And not just that, he kept that vow all throughout his life. Like, okay, even when he had disciples, when disciples will bring mango to him, he would say that okay, I'm an offender. I had mangoes without offering to Krishna. He had that level of sincerity. So I was just it is this is this is a Mahabhagavad. So we cannot compare like okay the determination that such a Mahabhagavat has actually in our own personal lives. He when Bhakti Vinod Thakur like okay, he was doing some construction work at his house like okay, when Bimla Prasad was 7, at that time there was one Kurmadev Shila that came out of that um, Shaligram Shila. So at the age of 7, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave his son Bimla Prasad to worship that Kurmadev. And it is said that worship of Kurmadev is stabilizes our spiritual life. So I was hearing from His Grace Adigadar Prabhu, sometimes we may not have Kurmadev Shila, Shaligram Shila. So if we want our devotional life to be stabilized, then one of the things that we can do is in the Dashavtar Stotra, there is this mantra that is given. We can worship our Lordship, like whether it's Radha Krishna we have, or whether it's Gaurnita we have, or if it's the pictures that we have, we can worship them with this mantra, this which is there in Dashavtar Stotra. क्षितिरिह विपुलतरे तिष्ठति तव पृष्ठे धरनिधरन किं चक्रगरिष्टे केशवधृता कुर्म शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे श्री कुर्मदेव की जय. So, very simple to worship Kurmadev, and Kurmadev stabilizes our spiritual life. If we are going through turbulent struggles, this is the best thing actually. So, that is, and at the age of 7, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sri Bimla Prasad, he memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita. He could give commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. And mainly, I wanted to focus on one particular pastime, after which I will conclude. That is when, as he grew up, Bimla Prasad, then he took initiation from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. His father, he asked him to take initiation from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Now, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was, by material standards, he was an illiterate. But, and Vimla Prasad, on the other hand, okay, he was a, he had great interest towards astronomical science, and he had already published Surya Siddhanta, which is still being used. The I don't know how many of you have seen the Pure Bhakti website, the Vaishnava calendar that was designed by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, and basically all these astronomical panchangs that are there, right? So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur put in place like such the calculations which are completely faultless, like for entire the um, calendars, like, okay, and those are still being used, and those are only the primarily guiding lines. But again, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, being illiterate, when Vimla Prasad approached him, he said, like, okay, how can I initiate you? I cannot initiate you. And Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj used to be in forest actually. And he said, you are such educated, you are coming from this royal family, so I cannot initiate you. I have no qualification. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, like, please initiate me. He and the next time Srila Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj said, okay, I will ask Lord Chaitanya. Then next time he went, he said, did you ask Lord Chaitanya? He said, look, oh, I forgot. Then next time he said, okay, I will ask. I don't think like Lord Chaitanya wants me to give you the initiation. So like this, many times it happened. He visited 17 times asking for initiation, for Diksha. And ultimately, like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur fell. He said, like, okay, if I don't get from a bona fide guru, that my life is worthless. And then I don't think I have to, I even deserve to live. And when he said that, he said, I should give up my life. Then at that point of time, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said that, okay, I'll give you Diksha. And he gave Diksha, and then then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur started preaching. And when he was preaching, it was in it was during that time that Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, he was in the Mahatma Gandhi's independence movement. He was a follower of this Mahatma Gandhi, Srila Prabhupada. So from his childhood onwards, he had seen many sadhus, but he saw that, okay, there are all these sadhus are all. He did not see any sadhu. Like, okay, many of those sadhus would come to his home, and Srila Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan, they would come and feed sadhus, but he would see that, okay, these sadhus are all cheaters actually. Okay, there was none of these sadhus who would attract his heart actually, because ultimately you would see that, okay, they are all, many of them are saffron guys, but they may not be worth saffron actually, because they may have many things going underground. So, but his father respected sadhus, and just as a formality, Srila Prabhupada would do that. He has seen that culture, but he would not want to meet any sadhus. But when he was in his college days, at that time, his friend Narendra once told him that, please see, there is one nice sadhu there, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I want you to come and meet him. He said, I have seen enough of these sadhus. I don't want to see these sadhus anymore. No, no, please come. Just, I want you to come and give your opinion. And everyone used to consider Abhay, like, okay, what is Srila Prabhupada's earlier name, as a leader, that that our Robert Prabhu was saying. Everyone would consider Abhay as a leader, and everyone would want what Abhay thinks about it. So after persistently trying to persuade Abhay for coming, Abhay finally gave up and he said, okay, come, let's go. And then they went to this place in one Ultadanga lane. And this was a house, not house, but it was a, yeah, it was a house where, like, the first floor was brahmacharis would stay, the second floor was occupied by the grihasthas, and on the top floor, which is on the terrace, that's where Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would stay on the rooftop, and he would give his classes in that terrace. So there were these classes that were going on, and at that time, our Abhay and his friend Narendra, they went. So when they just entered, Abhay, has, Abhay had met sadhus earlier, and so he knew the etiquette. So when you go and when they went there, at that time, someone in that Gaudiya Math, they identified Naren, that he had donated earlier something. So they identified and they asked him to come inside. And as soon as they got in, they went ahead and did the pranams, Dandavat pranam. And as soon as Abhay was trying to get up, at that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was giving this class, he looked at Abhay and he said that, okay, you are an intelligent young man. Why don't you take the message of this Lord Chaitanya to the Western world? So Abhay was stunned. He did not even have an introduction with this sadhu. And before that, only he got an instruction actually. So he was amazed that, okay, that this sadhu is talking about the principles of message of Lord Chaitanya. Like, he was not talking about any material things actually. But still, he was not very convinced. He wanted to see that, okay, because in his mind, he came from the background of Mahatma Gandhi's movement. So Abhay asked this question: who will hear this message of Lord Chaitanya in this world? Right now, India is, because this was 1923. Right now, India is not even independent. And in Abhay's mind, he was thinking, like, okay, here it is very peaceful, but just outside this rooftop, everything is very turbulent. India is not independent, the Britishers are there, and daily there is like, okay, so many things that are happening outside. Who will come to hear this message of Lord Chaitanya? Okay, so he asked this question to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, not in a challenging mood, but in questioning that, okay, what do we do in this scenario? Like, okay, because I don't think this is still the time. Like, okay, first of all, I think we should wait for India to be independent, right? And then only people will come and hear the message of Lord Chaitanya. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that Krishna consciousness is an urgency. The soul is eternal. All these different wars, politics, all this will continue to happen. But the eternal thing, the permanent thing is Krishna consciousness. That should not stop. That message has to go on. And it is very, very urgent that this message reaches out to the public. It so the body is temporary, but the soul is but the soul is permanent. There is no man-made political system that can actually help humanity. And this is the verdict of the Vedic scriptures and in the line of the spiritual masters. And everyone, Jivera Swarup hoye, Nitya Krishna Das, everyone is an eternal servant of God. When one takes himself to the temporary body and is going after this country, family, this, that, right? And in regard to his nation, and in regard to his nation of his birth, one thinks that, okay, oh, Bharat is pujaniya, my country is worshipable, then he comes under an illusion. And the leaders and the followers of this world's political movements that are there, including like, okay, whatever was going on at that time, the Swaraj movement, they are simply cultivating illusion. So real welfare work, whether it is individual, social, or political, they should prepare a person for the next life, and they should help him re-establish his relationship with the supreme personality of Godhead. So having heard this, like, okay, this was very Srila Prabhupada, he says later, like, okay, that I was defeated by my Guru Maharaj, but I could understand, it gave me a lot of peace in my heart, and I could understand that the Lord Chaitanya's movement is in the right hands. And later, Srila Prabhupada, like, okay, he took this up, like, okay, at that point, I mean, much later, but he prepared for this, like, okay, whatever he got from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and by his mercy, Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world, and somehow or other, like, okay, insignificant fallen souls like myself, like, okay, I also got connected after so many decades, actually. So at this, as I was thinking through this, as I was hearing this pastime today, like, I was thinking that, okay, there is Srila Prabhupada, the instruction that Srila Prabhupada got almost 100 years back. It is so relevant for me at this point of time also, because this is kind of, this is so transformatory. And the message of the pure devotion, because there are so many things that are going on in this world. There are so many things there are so many spiritual paths, but there are hardly something in which are in terms of pure devotion. Many people who may be in different paths, they may be following some gyan marg, dhyan marg, okay, and if we analytically see, they may be related to temporary things actually, but very less things attract pure devotion, that which gives complete peace, solace, and joy, bliss to the heart. That Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in that line of disciplic succession had come to give. And with that, I would conclude here. श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय. And if you have any questions or any comments, we can take here, or else we can conclude here. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. जय गौर प्रेमानंदी. हरे बोल. Hare Krishna. So any questions or any comments anyone has, or any suggestions? If not, then we can conclude here. Okay, I can stop the recording.